You're watching ABC4 News.
Now to Brazil, where voters in the world's fourth largest democracy are creating a major shift after a contentious presidential election. ABC's Matt Rivers in Brazil with the latest.
The world's eyes on Brazil as its people vote to determine who their next president will be, as its two most polarizing politicians vie for the top job. That decision affecting everything from the fight against climate change to the global rise of far-right candidates. On one side, incumbent President Jair Bolsonaro, a firebrand conservative nicknamed the, quote, Trump of the tropics. Criticism over a botched COVID response and a sharp increase in Amazon deforestation in part opened the door for his opponent, former President Lula da Silva. A political legend, he was convicted and jailed on corruption charges that were overturned last year.
In a deeply divided election, Lula's supporters here say they're not just voting for his policies, but for the future of Brazilian democracy.
Thousands of Lula's followers took over a Sao Paulo street this weekend. Polls show Lula with a slim lead, but if Bolsonaro loses, he said he might not accept the result. He's argued, without proof, that voting machines can be rigged, with millions of his supporters, like Eduardo dos Santos, already crying foul.
Então, a possibilidade de ele perder as eleições.
If he doesn't win, then I know it will be because there is fraud, he told us.
And so the question now becomes, if Bolsonaro loses when the results come in tonight, will he question those results? And does that spur his supporters to take to the streets? As one expert told us yesterday, the situation here in Brazil very tense, with the possibility of political violence very real. Well, people here along the main avenue in Sao Paulo celebrating after Brazilian election authorities announced that former President Lula da Silva once again captured the presidency here in Brazil. He beat out current President Jair Bolsonaro in what became a very close race. The question now, will there be any sort of political violence? Throughout his campaign, President Bolsonaro repeatedly suggested that he would not accept the results of an election were not to win. Election authorities now say he's lost, so all eyes will be on Bolsonaro and his supporters to see how they're going to respond. Matt Rivers, ABC News, Sao Paulo, Brazil.